Hi guys, ArchieLuxury on the ArchieLuxury and the Paul Pluta channel. Today I'm doing a collection review and this is for Sid. That's right, Sid. I've been doing some consultancy work with Sid and he asked me to do a bit of a review on his fabulous collection, and I've been hesitating a bit, and it's for a number of reasons, but I thought it was only fair that I get this video out for Sid, and we can have a talk about some of the things that I haven't liked in his evolution as a collector. So let's have a bit of a sticky here. He's Sid himself is a early 30s dentist. He's a bit loud, a little bit obnoxious. He's a little bit narcissistic, but you know, I don't mind our Sydney. So he's got an interesting collection. He's got a couple of he's a little bit of an Indian giver in the sense that he actually gave the 2 Datejust and the 2 Pateks to his father, his elderly father, but when we're doing a collection review, he tells me they're actually part of the collection. So I don't understand, Sydney. If you've given them away to somebody, they're not really yours to have. I thought that's how it kind of works, but maybe I'm mistaken. So let's have a look at the best piece in Sydney's collection, and that is definitely the magnificent no, not a Patek. This is the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak 15400. This is with the bluey grey dial. This is the rarest dial. Have a look at this piece. It is absolutely stunning. This piece here is the piece of a la Resistance. It's gorgeous, very classy. It's a big watch. This is 41 mils. Audemars Piguet, the 15300 was 39 mils, and then they've released this version here, which replaced the 15300, and it's 41 mils. Absolute stunner. Look at that display back, gold rotor with Audemars the AP logo on it there. You can actually, I believe you can actually get your name or family crest on the rotor as an option, which is quite a novel approach, I suppose. This piece here is probably the greatest piece in Sydney's collection, and I gotta be completely honest with you. I think it's the 15400 it's a magnificent piece. These are selling above retail. There certainly is a premium. That bluey grey dial is now, it's a boutique only option, so you can only get that. The black, the white, you can get from AP retailers, but the bluey grey is a boutique only. They're trying to move the brand more exclusive. I must say, I think the Royal Oak, it's just a cracker of a piece. The big debate is the Nautilus better or is the Royal Oak better? I think they're both beautiful. This really is a gorgeous piece. Unfortunately, with Sydney, he never really seems 100% happy with it. He's constantly told me he wants to sell it and he wants to get a Nautilus. Sydney kind of likes things that are just outside his reach. He really, when he gets a Grail, he doesn't really respect it, or he just doesn't seem satisfied. And I think this lack of maturity in his collecting is probably more down to himself. He's come into the hobby with a big amount of money. Being a dentist, of course, they charge like wounded bulls. He instead of having the journey, the horological journey that many of us take, where we refine our taste, he's kind of just gone in there and said, "I'll have one of those. I'll have one of those," like a spoilt child in a sweets shop. So I'm a little bit disappointed he doesn't love these pieces for what they are, and it's kind of sad to see him not appreciative of the mark in its true form. The other great piece is a no-date Submariner, and again, he really didn't love this piece. I think the no-date ceramic Submariner is a superb piece, beautiful proportions, beautiful classic iconic piece. How could you not love it? Sydney has wavered whether he should keep it or flick it or trade it or swap it, or he just doesn't seem happy in his own skin with this piece. And I think the no-date Submariner, it's just a classic dive watch. I love the maxi case. I love the new bracelet. I think this is it's a wonderful piece to have, and it's a bit of a shame that our Sydney doesn't love this piece as much as he should. Instead of contemplating trading it or selling it or swapping it, I think you've got to enjoy it. Our Sydney also has an Explorer 2 42mm, which he constantly wanted to sell. When I offered him a deal, which I'll talk about in another video, he lied to me to back out of it. And I kind of think Sydney doesn't appreciate things until he's lost them. It's a bit of a shame, because there are some beautiful watches here, but there is a bit of lack of understanding, bit of lack of appreciation for the pieces he has there. And Sydney's he's an interesting chap. I certainly will say that. The other great piece he's got is his Batman, which I think is a superb, absolutely superb piece. I told him to get a Batman. The Batman's just a really gorgeous piece. I must say, to give Sydney credit, he does quite like the Batman, and it's easy to see why. Beautiful Rolex GMT, beautiful. Look at the clasp. It's well done. It's such a usable, wearable piece. You just strap it on, and off you go there. I think this is a very good cornerstone. He's got some really good heavy hittings. The no-date sub, I've constantly begged Sydney to keep it. Do not sell it. I've told him, get a Batman. I've told him, keep the AP. But Sydney's one of these guys who will argue with you just for the sake of arguing. Instead of saying, yes, Pontiff, yes, your Highness, I understand what you're saying, he'll argue it 20 different ways, and in the end you just say to Sydney, do whatever you feel like, because you're driving me fucking insane. So it's a little bit of a love-hate relationship I have with our Sydney. He has some magic pieces. And I'm trying to help him improve the collection, but our Sydney seems to be he's more interested in the monetary value of the pieces than the actual beauty and form and function of the pieces. So we do have a bit of work to perform with Sydney, but this is just a gorgeous piece. I think the Batman, classic, iconic sports watch. How could you not love this sort of piece? And it's just, I think it's magic. It's absolutely magic piece there. And with the Explorer 2 he's got a perfect pair of modern Rolex GMT function watches. The interesting thing with our Sydney is he does like a bargain, and he does have a few fairly small Pateks. This is a little Calatrava, 33mm. It's got a beautiful blue, real rich blue dial that's similar to the blue used in the ellipse in the late 60s. But I do feel with this piece here, he did buy it because he thought he was getting a bargain, when really he was just getting a girl-sized Patek Philippe. Sydney tells me he's given this to his father, but then he puts it in his... I mean, if you give something to somebody, it's no longer yours. I don't quite understand how you can say this piece is yours if you've given it to your father. And unfortunately, his father, the elderly gentleman that he is, doesn't quite treat it with the respect that a Patek should be treated with. He kind of just throws them into a box, and that's sort of it. And when Sydney has mentioned this to his father, that the watches aren't being treated well, his father says, "Well, take them back. If they're this fragile, take them back." And I think that's kind of sad there. The silly thing is with our Sydney is I helped him get a white gold world time, a 5230, which I think he should have kept, and he should have sold these two girl-sized Pateks he has. But our Sydney decided to sell them to a Russian watch dealer when he was in Russia for the soccer, which I think is rather foolish. I think you should have gotten rid of these small Pateks, kept the beautiful world time. That's the way I would have gone there. But in the collection, these are still Pateks. They're manual wind Calatravas. They're still very fine watches. Sydney just continues to not listen to my advice that I've tried to give him. The next piece that our Sydney has is the beautiful Breitling B01 Navitimer. And I actually tried to sell him one of my good friends Dave's Navitimer, but Sydney's just a real cunt to deal with. If you're trying to sell something, Sydney's just a cunt to deal with. So I in disgust, I just said, "Fuck it, Sydney. Just buy it from the retail store and just fucking leave me alone, because you're making me fucking get angry." But I must say, this is a very nice example. This came from Hourglass. He decided to buy it. He claims he got a substantial discount. The reality with Sydney, everything is such a narcissistic adventure for Sydney that I'm not really sure of the truth. But as an addition to the collection, I think it's a good looking, it's a beautiful piece. I actually would like to acquire a Breitling Navitimer in the future for my 4-piece chronograph collection to make it a 5-piece. Obviously, I certainly wouldn't be buying it from Sydney. Sid is an absolute cunt to buy or sell anything to. And it's quite hilarious. Everything he has is worth a fortune. Everything he's buying is a piece of shit and worth nothing. He's very, very difficult to deal with people who are so cunty. But the other piece he's got is an Omega Speedmaster Man on the Moon. Yes, that was one of my recommendations. Very hard guy. I tried to sell another one of Dave's to Sydney, but the deal fell through. It's when you're dealing with Sydney, it's always on his terms, and it's just not possible to do deals with people who are just fucking assholes. But anyhow, the thing is, the watch here it's a beautiful, iconic chronograph. I think the Speedmaster Man on the Moon with the Halcyon glass, it's an iconic piece. This is one with the big box. Look, it's a nice piece. I think it's a great chronograph. It's a nice piece to have and enjoy. Iconic. It's just every collection should have an Omega Speedmaster Man on the Moon. I think it is a very, very cool piece to have, and it's look. This is just a beautiful example. This just shows you why these Omegas, I think, are going to they're just a perfect watch for any collector to have in their collection. Just beautiful, beautiful pieces. So that leaves me to conclude, what do I think? Take the personality aside, because Sydney does give me the fucking shits at times, but what do I think of our Sydney's watch collection? He's got the, look, with the Rolexes, he's got the Batman, he's got the no-date ceramic Submariner, he has got the beautiful Navitimer B01, he's got the Omega Speedmaster, the Man on the Moon, which I think is just looks so perfect in this collection here. We've also got quite a few other interesting pieces. We've got a couple of Rolexes, which I'm not sure whether they're his or his father's. But they're on the peripherals of the collection, and I think one in rose gold, one in yellow gold. They're both 36mm, which is getting a wee bit small, but they are certainly nice. It's a nice pieces to have in the. They're quality Rolexes. These are Rolexes. We've got two Pateks, a 3919, which I've got to say is a little bit small, 39mm, but it's still beautiful classic Patek Philippe. I mean, it's in nice. There was a few little nicks and scratches there, but it's a classic Patek Philippe. There's the Panerai wasn't his, that was someone else's. The other Patek Calatrava with the blue dial, yes, quite nice, but I gotta tell you guys, don't forget, this guy had a Patek Philippe World Time, the 5230 in white gold, and he sold it. He sold it to a Russian dealer, which, I gotta be honest with you, completely mind-fucked me. I just can't believe why you would sell a grail like that and keep two fucking girl-sized Pateks in your collection. I mean, one minute you're telling me how rich you are, then the next minute you're selling your World Time to a fucking Russian watch dealer who skins you in the trade, and you're telling me what a great deal you've done. It's just lunacy. And I've got to be honest with you, our friend Sydney himself there, I'm disappointed with some of the things he's done. I really am disappointed. I'm let down by his decisions. And whilst his collection is beautiful, I think if he had the World Time still, it would be amazing. It would be just mind-blowing, and unfortunately it's not. And whilst it is still a very substantial, beautiful collection, I think if Sydney had a white gold 5230, that's the current model World Time in it, I think it would just be a 10 out of 10. Instead, we've got a collection which is amazing. We've got an AP, we've got beautiful ceramic Rolexes, we've got some beautiful stuff, but it could have been perfection if Sydney hadn't have been a dick and sold the World Time. It's really beyond me, and it's with sadness that I look at this collection and just lament what could have been if he had listened to my advice. I'm Paul Pluter. Please tell me what you guys think of Sid's collection. I think it's beautiful. I think it's a lovely collection, but greatness would have been achieved if he would have gotten rid of those two girl-sized Pateks and kept that white gold World Time. Comments below. Tell me what you guys think of that.
I'm only signing it because it costs nothing. So this is the congratulations to everybody.
Guys, it's really dishonest to jump into bed with garbage. It's really dishonest. It's really dishonest. I mean, I've been approached hundreds of times by shitter brands. I said no. I said no. No shitters. No shitters. So just remember that when you're picking your YouTube gurus, don't always go for the one who everything's wonderful, everything's great, because it ain't the case. It ain't all fucking wonderful. Oh, and don't forget, fuckaroonies, like, subscribe, and tell your fuckhead friends. And don't forget to mention the ArchieLuxury travel channel. That's where I'm doing live shows, fuckers.